You want it, it's going down tonight. So I'm a fight.
Did you hit the live button? Yes. Starting my video. Okay. Alright guys, we are live. What's going on? Hi. We're getting ready to start the show. Just waiting for a couple more people to tune in and doing a camera check. And then we'll start saying hi to everybody. Hello. This is my song, So Hot. What do you guys think of the song?
Awesome. Really good stuff.
Alright. Hi, Mary Jones. Hi, Aldo. Hi, Jean Carlos. Hey, guys. Hi, welcome to TFT TV. What are you doing, Aldo? Hey, Jersey, Jerry, and Tony Farrow. What's going on, guys? Welcome. All right, I'm going to lower the music so we can get started. All right. So, welcome to Tools for Talent Live on TFT TV. I am your host, Cheryl Martinez, and my featured guest today is the very talented JT, aka John Thomas from JT Talent Enterprises. Welcome to the show, JT.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. I really appreciate it. I can't tell you how excited I am. And a lot of these people that you see on me doing live streaming, I never do this, but I'm doing this for you.
Oh, well,
you are awesome.
Thank you so much for being here. I am so happy that you're here today on my show because JT, guys, JT Talent, if you haven't heard of him, he has been in the entertainment industry working as a casting director, producer, and talent manager for how many years now?
Over 17 years.
Over 17 years. In fact, about, I don't know, over 10, maybe even 15 years ago, JT actually gave me my first ever job in the entertainment industry. It was a fashion show. And so, yes, thank you for giving me my first job in the industry.
Oh, you're the best.
And, that's so sweet. And I just can't even get over how cool that was to do my first ever fashion show and to have you to thank you for that and to have that be so long ago and to trigger so many other things in my career since then. It's just, it's just a really amazing memory. So thank you for that.
Look, it goes both ways. I've met a lot of great people through you. Not to mention, you know, your music, you know, as far as you had your dance company and all this other great stuff that you've been doing. And not to mention the modeling and the acting and all that and the friendship and the support. I remember the last time I saw you, we were at your birthday at Attic.
That's right. It was my big bash.
Yeah,
but
that was awesome.
So those of you that are just tuning in, again, this is Tools for Talent Live on TFT TV. I'm your host, Cheryl Martinez, and my featured guest today is John Thomas from JT Talent Enterprises. So JT has been working as a casting director and talent manager and producer in the industry for so many years. Yes. You guys should look him up on IMDb. I have his IMDb page here real quick that I'll show you to all you guys that are tuned in on YouTube Live. You can see in his filmography credits, it says there's over 48 credits of all of projects that you have casted talent for. So when it comes to the film industry, I'd say that's your forte, right?
You know, right now, you know, I started out as a talent manager 17 years ago when I first met you. And the thing is that I love doing it, and being a talent manager is great. And I still do the same thing. The only difference is about a couple of years ago, I realized that casting and producing is my main thing. I mean, and I've been focusing a lot more on that, and it's been great. I mean, I've done over 200 films, TV shows, and that. And if you look on IMDb, there's about 100 altogether. There's 48 split up with another 38, and so on. Some is casting director, some is casting associate, some casting department, some producers. But I love what I do. I mean, helping people is what I live for. I am fortunate enough and blessed to have so many good people in my life and so many people that have been working so hard to support me as well as myself supporting them, including yourself.
So my first question for you is, how did you get started in the
Wow.
entertainment industry, specifically the film industry?
All right. Well, you know what? It's been a long time. So this is really how I started my company. When I grew up in Brooklyn, I used to run a lot of nightclubs. And one of the nightclubs, that I was Paul Antonelli, who, right now is in the hospital. I hope he gets better. And a couple of other friends, we used to run these nightclubs, and I used to work under Paul. So one day I met somebody, and what they did was they said, hey, listen, they said, why don't you come down to Manhattan? We're going to be doing this show called The Sopranos.
Ah, The Sopranos. You guys all remember The Sopranos, right?
It's only a script, and you can meet some directors and producers, and it wasn't even real. The guy made everything up. And when I went down there, apparently it was just it wasn't real. It was basically a fabrication, and they said, hey, you know what? We just wanted you really to come here, and whatever. I said, yeah, all right, no problem. They said, there's a lot of big important people here. This was almost 17 years ago, and it was at Club Faluca, which now is under new owners. And when I went there, what happened was they said there's a big modeling agency that everyone's going to meet, and I was excited because I was thinking about starting one. And it turned out I was the one they were talking about.
Aww.
And I knew nothing, but I knew nothing about the business.
What a cute surprise.
Well, yeah, and the surprise was that I knew nothing about the business. They used me as like an scapegoat to try to get people. And when I found out what happened, I was really upset. And I'm like, why would you do something like this? And then I ran into Courtney, who's like my sister. You met her.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said, this girl is amazing. My heart went out. I said, she is the most beautiful, talented person I've ever met. And I felt a very strong bond and connection towards her. And what I said was, you know what? I was like, this girl is incredible.
Tell them what Courtney you're talking about.
Courtney Turner, by the way, who's like my sister. She's in LA, produces. She's actually doing a lot of big stuff right now. And the thing about it is that when I actually got there, I talked to her so many times, and I ended up going back to Brooklyn. And I sat down at this place, which was the old Pastels, and I was with the owner, God rest his soul, and my buddy Al Bacci Jr. And we wanted to, do some stuff, with the club. And then apparently I invited Courtney to come down, and it turned out amazing. We built this bond and this friendship, and she and I talked about it. She said, you start your own modeling, start your own casting business.
So she was your inspiration to start your own company.
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be.
And it's been all uphill from there. Now, how many people are part of JT Talent Enterprises right now, if you had to guesstimate that number?
Well, if we're going to talk about, clients, manager, friends, agents, all that, thousands. But if we're going to talk about clients, I have about 24.
Mm-hmm.
In managing wise, I really got rid of it. I'm just taking it very slow, doing my thing and whatever. But when it comes down to casting and producing, I'm working with so many great people, and things are just going amazing.
So when it comes to picking who your clients are going to be,
Okay.
What would you say are the key things that you look for? And so if there were, someone who wanted to become one of your clients, what would they need
We're
to
talking
do?
on managing?
Yes.
Okay, well, on managing, we have a separate division. And on managing, one of the things that I've learned is that, one, it's important to have a headshot.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a decent headshot.
Professionally taken.
Professionally
headshots.
taken.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if your friend does it in a corner, but it's got to be professional, and it's got to be 300 DPI. The second thing is, or dots per inch. The second ththing is a resume. Now, if you don't have a lot of on the resume, and you're honest with me and say, hey, look, I really haven't done much, don't expect a lead role, or don't expect, you're going to go get a lot of big stuff, but start small and you'll be fine. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I look for honesty, professionalism, and a look helps, but there's all types that you can, I book for acting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just gotta just be straight and just tell me, hey, look,
Yeah.
I had somebody came to my office and on their resume they had a film that they were the lead in. It was one of my movies.
Wow.
I know they weren't the lead. The movie wasn't even done.
Oh, so you could tell that that it wasn't true.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I bet people lie on their resumes all the time when it comes to the entertainment industry.
Yeah, it just so happened that it was my name on it.
Wow, that's crazy. That's so crazy. What a
Yeah,
story.
It was a while ago, but it happens.
Okay. All right. So let's take a second to check who's here and say hi to all the viewers.
Let's
So
do it.
if you can see who's tuning in on this side, I'll look on this side. Oh, my brother's watching. Hey, MJ, what's going on? Juan Luis Murillo, all the way
Hey.
from Spain, is tuned in. Hey, Tay Brown. Hey, David Asher. Hey, Manny Trejo. What's going on, guys? Aaron Husk. How are you? Melissa, hi. And over here we have the Moon Blue. Thanks for the hearts. And Foundation, also thanks for the hearts, guys.
Wow, look at this.
Appreciate all the hearts and all the love. Thanks for becoming a fan, Tony Fingers. Hi, guys. Welcome to Tools for Talent Live on TFT TV. How's everybody doing? Good to see you all.
I got my whole crew. I got it.
Here we got Luna. Hey, what's going on? Luna Bamboo. How you been? Okay, guys, so for those of you guys that are just tuning in, you're watching Tools for Talent Live on TFT TV. I'm your host, Cheryl Martinez, and my fabulous featured guest for today is John Thomas of JT Talent Enterprises. So just to give you a quick rundown of what the show is about and what we do here, so Tools for Talent Live is a subdivision of Tools for Talent, the corporation. So toolsfortalent.com, you can go to the website. We are a talent management and marketing firm, and Tools for Talent, the show, is basically a way for us to give back. We provide all of the tools needed to help talent succeed. So every week I'll feature a different guest, someone who's an industry veteran like JT that can provide inspiration and advice and tips for aspiring entertainers and actors, or a celebrity talent as well that want to share their story. So if any of you guys out there think that you have some amazing tools for our talents, you can go to toolsfortalent.com/TV, where you can sign up to be a featured guest on our next show. We're always looking for new, amazing celebrity veterans and industry guests that can be featured on the show. So again, welcome, JT. Thank you for being here.
I'm so excited to see you. It's been so long.
It's been too long. We both got so busy that in the beginning of the industry, we saw each other all the time.
Yes.
When I first started
Absolutely.
breaking into the industry, when he was sending me contacts and networking events and all different types of offers as far as fashion shows and film roles, and JT has been there since the beginning of my career, and that's why I really felt like he was the perfect person to invite on the show today to interview, because he's known me since day one of my career in this industry. He's been working in the industry so long.
Yes.
He's really built a name for himself. If you guys check out his IMDb page, like I was saying before, he has tons and tons and tons of credits in the film industry where he has casted talent for these films. So if you guys have any questions for JT, any advice that you want to know, definitely now's the time to ask him while he's here live. Hey, omnipotent being, that's so sweet. They just said you're the most inspiring person that you've ever met. I really, really appreciate that. Hey, Mostrash, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate all the love and feedback.
absolutely.
We are
This is great.
here to help. So, so let's see what's going on. We got Joseph Bennett says, "Nice work, JT."
Well, let me tell you about Joseph Bennett. Joseph Bennett is the magazine owner. He's my partner. He's the one you just submitted.
Oh, that's
You're gonna be in the
right.
magazine.
That's right.
So,
I actually have a clip from the magazine right here. I'm
Alright.
gonna pull it up.
Look
It's
at
called
this.
Talent Raiders, guys. So if you go to talentraters.com/magazine, right? You can see this magazine that JT is now a part of. Why don't you tell them real quick what's going on with this magazine?
well, basically what happened was I was fortunate enough to meet this wonderful guy named Joe Bennett
Hey, Joe Bennett.
at a fashion event, and that I sponsored along with my event partner Ryan Shemin, which we'll get to a little bit from Success with Teamwork. So, we did a lot of events, which I pretty much gave him my event business to handle. But Joe was telling me about his magazine. It's online. He had it for a little over a year, the whole thing. He had a couple of issues. So I was very fascinated. I've worked with other magazines before, and I still work with one here and there. And I just was like, wow, oh my God, this magazine's really good. So I said, you know what, Joe? What I can do is I can do these things for you. I got a lot of great talent, great people for the article. And he says, well, send me a few. Let's take a look at it. And then we talked on the phone, and I ended up sending a lot of people, and we agreed. You know what? Let's be partners. He already made my business cards. He already took care of everything. And as far as that, we've got a lot of articles written. We just got one with, remember Daniela Sanchez?
No, I don't.
I think you've met her a while back. We did her article, Sonia Curtis, and a whole bunch of other ones that are coming up. And it's just getting bigger and better and stronger. So I'm very excited to work with him.
Yeah, and it looks like I'm going to be featured in the magazine next. So thank you so much for that referral.
It's our pleasure.
And if anyone else wants to be in the magazine, tell them what you're looking for and how they can submit.
Well, if anyone else really wants to be in the magazine, and I've already put up posts, and I didn't even do a lot of press about it, and I know a lot of my clients and friends are like shocked me doing Facebook Live. This is the second time I've ever done it. So I know that's why I see like people I haven't spoken in like 10 years. But anyway, the thing is that you just email me, jttalententerprisellc@gmail.com. And I'll forward everything over to Joe, and we are gonna have an awesome time. The magazine also has videos, so if you want, like when we do an article on you, well, you can actually submit a video, and we'll put the video on there.
Nice.
So, which I should put this video on there. But the thing is that, before I get into me, I want to talk about you. Is that okay?
I'm interviewing you, but sure.
All right. I want everyone to know that I met this girl when she was very young, and she had so much energy, so beautiful, looks exactly the same. And we have a friend named Danielle from Dejani Fashion. Hi Danielle, I think you're on there. And she's her family's like with Jim Jones and all that. And she was doing a fashion event, and I went there because it's right next door to my hotel, 34th and 8th, the New Yorker, and I went to see her show, and I was amazed, and it was great. She had such beautiful outfits, so many great people, and this young lady was in the show. And I was with Courtney, and we both met her. And I'm just starting out in the business pretty much, and we had a meeting, and I started managing and working with her for a little while, and then she branched out on her own like a rocket in like 3 years, and we've always stayed friends. And she's so successful right now, and that's what it's all about. When you asked me before, it's about just giving back. And the thing is, you're amazing.
Aww.
And you work so hard, I know that.
You're so sweet. You're gonna make me cry right now.
Listen, it's all about energy, it's all about love, and it's all about respect. You know what I mean? Like this guy Joe, I don't know him from the hole in the wall, but when I met him, I felt that energy. He wanted to make something with this magazine, and he just said, here, run with it. Do whatever you think is right. And now I'm doing a lot of stuff for it. And I already got writers. We got, remember Nick Christopher from Mob Candy Magazine? We got him.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, Craig Davinovich, who I actually have my premiere for Father Holiday tonight. But obviously this is more important, which they already know because I've seen the movie before. And I have somebody doing my Q&A over there. And my event later, which Ed, I don't know if you remember Ed Chiani, I wanted your birthday. He's actually covering the event for me and Ryan, because Ryan's on his way there from Successful Teamworks. But the thing is that this business, a lot of people get confused about. It's not about can I get a lead role or can I be a celebrity. It's about supporting everyone. If someone's in a play, you go to see them. You never know who you're going to meet, and you're making that person happy. I know one person that I went to go see a play, and this person had 8 people in the audience. 8 people that were in the audience at the Producers Club, and this is about 2 years ago, and it was one of my clients. And no one showed up except for 7 people and me. And 2 of the people were staff.
Wow.
And they refused to go on. They wouldn't go on the show. And I said, listen, it's a small play. I'm going to sit here and watch it. The rest of these people, I didn't say in front of them, and I convinced that person to go on.
Aww.
And it turned out that person, I'm not going to mention a name, but I still speak to them, a lot. and they said that I was an inspiration for them just because I made them go on. And now that same person is on Broadway.
Wow,
I
look
don't
at that, see?
Yeah, I mean,
And that's because they did it for the love of it and not for, you know, the publicity,
right.
right? And then when you do it for you first, then the good stuff will follow.
Right.
But speaking of inspiration, not only were you so inspiring to that person, which was such an amazing story, by the way,
Awesome.
you are an inspiration to yourself and to so many people out there. Why don't you tell them what you went through personally?
Absolutely. Okay, so I have a friend of mine that called me up about doing a big motion picture. It was about 3 years ago, and it was close to the Oscars, the Oscar night. And a friend of mine called me up, and he says, "I want you to cast this new movie. This lady has a book. It's about the mob, and but the old school mob, like 1940s, 1950s, that kind of thing."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Oh, great." The next day, Brian Wixon, who's a good friend of mine, one of my clients, he wanted to take me out to eat. He was in the area, so I said, "Okay." And when I woke up, my face was crooked, and my lips, it was like really like twisted.
Oh my God.
So I figured maybe I just overslept. I didn't realize I was exhausted anyway. I went downstairs and I'm at TikTok Diner, which is my favorite diner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shout out to George from TikTok Diner. Love you, buddy. I always see him every night. My buddy Teddy owns it. And all of a sudden, Brian goes, "What's wrong with your face?" And I said, "I feel fine." And he goes, No. What's wrong with your face? You're crooked." So I took a picture, I sent it to my sister, and Courtney goes, "Go to the hospital, you're having a stroke."
Oh my God.
I walked to the hospital, which is on 14th Street in Lenox Hill. My blood pressure was 235 and climbing.
Wow.
And they basically said that there's a lot going on with me, and there's a situation that's happening where what's going on is apparently my white blood cells weren't regenerating and the whole thing, and that's why the left side of my body was shutting down. And I was supposed to sponsor a charity in Connecticut, and I wanted to get out of there as soon as possible because I felt really bad. And what happened was, I felt like everything is fine, but I looked not good.
Mm-hmm.
Then 14th Street basically told me, "Listen, I'm sorry, we can't take care of you here. You need to go to 77th Street." So I went to 77th Street, and they put me on the gurney and everything, whatever. I'm going outside, and when I'm outside by the ambulance, they had me strapped, and I was fine. People were getting out of the school that was right over there, and they thought this was one of my movies, and they started crowding around, thinking it was like a publicity stunt or one of my films, and they started taking pictures.
Oh my God.
So, I talked to the ambulance guys, I had no idea what's going on. Anyway, to make a long story short, I ended up being in there in 3 days. I had lots of visitors. One in particular, which I gotta mention, is Heidi Mansour, who's a very good friend of mine, and she's a beautiful actress, really talented person. Stayed with me every single day, convinced the doctors and the nurses that I was okay to leave, and even after I got out of the hospital, she got me food or whatever. The third day, the doctors told me, "Look, I don't think you're gonna recover as quick as you think, or if you're gonna recover. Your face is crooked. Your left side of your body is shut down. It's rejuvenated, you're getting better, but it looks like there may be an issue."
You needed to calm down and
Right.
take a break.
And they told me I should just retire, stay away from people for a while, and I did for a couple of months. And I signed myself out, even though the doctor said no, I did it against them. And I shouldn't have, but I did it anyway. Eventually, what happened was I do a lot of energy healing and a lot of meditation, and I realized that if I could just concentrate on my left side of my body and rejuvenate, I could be so much better. And when I went down for my doctor's appointment, they couldn't understand how my blood pressure dropped. I was fine. They noticed that my whole side of my face was almost completely healed, and it took about a year to really get back into shape. But now I'm in great health, everything's good. I even stopped drinking for a while. Now I drink here and there, nothing major. But the thing is that, I know God obviously had something to do with it, and there's just so many people that were there to support me, and I thank every one of them every day for being there for me, and but I'm fine now. Everything's great, and it's just amazing.
Well, Congratulations
Thank
for
you.
overcoming that and for overcoming it in a positive way and for being so inspiring to so many people out there who have maybe also suffered a stroke or
Oh, yeah.
something similar, and to know that you can come out fine and better and even better for it by positive mental healing as well, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, that must have been a crazy experience in
Oh,
your
yeah.
life, especially, you know, for it. Did you have any warning signs that that was coming? Like, or was it really just one day you woke up and
Slow breathing.
okay?
Trouble breathing
Mm-hmm.
and slurring the words.
Mm-hmm. And that was how much prior?
That was basically before, but I didn't even realize the signs. It happened once in a blue moon,
Okay.
and that was it.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot, and I actually spoke to stroke victims. You know, I mean, some of them, you know, it was very hard for them to talk when I was in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, what I've learned a lot, you know, through the years of doing all this,
Yeah.
the loyalist people are the ones that actually, you know, have been there for you. I mean, they care about you. You know, they want to know how you feel. I mean, look, there's people I haven't spoken in 10 years. But meanwhile, they'll send me a message to see I'm okay. You know, stuff like that. And it's also the way that they speak about you. You know, I mean, I got people that will do everything from nasty write-ups to say bad things. But then when they're in the room with me, they're my best friend.
Mm.
And I will never sit there and badmouth them. I'll just let them say whatever they want, because nothing will stop my success.
Yeah.
And the reason why it won't stop my success is because I got too many people behind me and I care too much about people. And you know, like in fact, I just became a member of the New York Emmys.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks to Maurice. You're welcome. I mean, thanks. See, you got me on nervous here. But Maurice Kasner, who owns Cineworld Studios, very dear friend of mine, love him to death. And I work with his son and his nephew, which, you know, Corey and Nikki. And one day he called me up and he says, I'm going to make you a member of the New York Emmys. I spoke at the New York Emmys. And it was great. I went to my first event. He rented a limo and everything. It was amazing.
Nice.
But yeah, there's so many, you know, great things and great projects. But what you were asking me before, casting is like my main thing right now. I love doing it. Casting and producing, making my own, started a production company. Love doing that stuff.
Yeah, and you know, and thinking about what you were saying about, you know, staying humble in the industry and everything,
course.
like you've definitely been one of the number one people that I've seen stay humble and stay the same throughout all of the years of being in the industry, no matter how many films you cast
Right,
for, or no matter how large your database gets, and no matter how big of celebrities you work with, you still have always been the same giving, caring, beautifully sympathetic and sweet human being that I have met since the day one, that first job that you gave me. I even know people have even spoken. I've seen reviews for you online where people were saying how you, let's say they had a low budget project,
Right.
and normal casting directors will say, oh, well, I'm not going to waste my time on that low budget project. I can't. You would even, you know, cut your fee or not take a fee at all,
Right.
because you want to help somebody get amazing talent for their part, because you know you can help them, right? And that's what separates casting directors like you versus, you know, the stereotypical casting directors, is where you're actually going to help people and help cast the best talent for the project, no matter what budget range there is.
Correct.
If you can help them, you're going to help them.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, I mean.
And that's what I love about you. That's what I love about
Well,
you.
you know, actually, you know, that you brought that up, very interesting. There's a few people that I'll bring up about. First of all, I want to tell you, I don't know if you remember back in the day, there was a guy named Sammy DeFury. Big Italian guy. Anyway,
I'm so bad with names.
it's all right.
But I do remember like all the Sopranos people you introduced me to way back when.
You had met Sammy. Anyway, Sammy is one of my loyal and dearest friends.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, Sammy has got, you know, a lot of different projects, you know, that he's getting right now. But in the beginning, he worked very hard. And now, you know, he's in Bound by Debt, which I cast. That is Paul Mamando right there. Paul and his wife, Anna Mamando, directed it. And I was the casting director for it. We got a lot of great people in it. And Sammy played one of the leads up, and Bobby Cicelli was in there. And Sammy has been working so hard, and he's got great roles coming up, and he's just getting bigger and bigger and stronger. So I want to give a shout out to Sammy Fury because I know how hard you work, buddy. And you know what? There's so many good things, and he just became union. Gotta say,
yay.
And what you had mentioned about loyalty, Joe Gonzalez, okay, is a director of mine. And what you said before about small projects, I worked on a bunch of his projects, and I worked on another film which was called Around Every Corner.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a nice budget, it wasn't anything crazy, whatever, and I was casting director for it. So then Joe called me and he says, I got another film, that you want to do called The Breaking Point. I did The Breaking Point. Then he calls me and says, I got a bigger film for you, buddy. We're going to do another movie. And I said, really? And then that movie was Bare Knuckle Brawler.
Wow.
So Chris Victor is our producer. Joe Gonzalez is our director. And the thing is that we've got Pete Passaro, who's the writer with Joe Gonzalez. And talk about loyalty. Danny Trejo got attached, which I got Danny Trejo attached on there. And we got Mark Cove in there, Willie DeMeo. I mean, we got a great kid, Michelle Fonseca. I mean, there's so many good people that are attached, but he's one of the most loyal people that I could say. There's so many good people.
That was a very nice shout out you just gave him.
I love Joe.
You must have dropped like 500 names already in this show.
Sorry, I'm so bad. I love to give everybody props. Sorry about that. But I love everyone. But the one thing that I was saying before, Cheryl, about your music video, as far as your singing and the dancing and all that stuff, whatever, it's just, you're like a triple threat.
Aww.
You do everything, and now you're doing your web streaming, you got your show, you got your website. I mean, you just get bigger and stronger every day.
Yeah, I believe that you have no limit, right? So
Right.
once you reach one milestone, you need to make a new goal.
Exactly.
And then another one, and another one, and another one, and keep on testing your limits. If you think you can't do something, prove yourself wrong.
Right.
And it's okay to make mistakes along the way. I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I've learned from them, and I've come out better and stronger for it.
Right.
And I feel like I've evolved so much over the years, and that's thanks to all the amazing people I've met along the way, like you, that have inspired me to grow my career and to network even more and to just get out there and learn and be, try all different types of things in the industry, from singing, dancing, acting, modeling, whatever I could get my hands on, to be in front of the camera or even behind the camera, to go and just, learn and evolve. So I definitely, believe that when it comes to being an artist,
Right.
you should never stop growing.
Absolutely. And we were talking before about, I started a production company, and I did a bunch of different projects, and I just finished my TV series called La Pancheville.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And that one, BET is going to be looking at, which I'm very excited about.
Ooh,
So yeah, I mean,
that's big news.
we got, in fact, my director Austin just finished the trailer, and I officially have it.
Yay.
But I can't say anything, so I mean,
Oh, that's too bad we can't preview it on the show right
I
now.
wish I could. But it's still, it's a work in progress. We're still working on it. And Ann Mitchell,
Joe said excellent advice. Aw.
see, and then Ann Mitchell.
Hey, Jason Demore. We got to say hi to everybody that's tuning in. We can't forget about all the
I am
viewers.
so
Gio
glad.
Lux, Autumn Marie, Richie Smith, Yvette Fuertes, James, what's going on?
Hey, everybody.
Eddie Rocky Rivera, what's up?
I'm so sorry.
Oh, thank you, Timothy.
I'm new at this.
Thanks, Brian. Ooh. Brian says, with so many accomplishments, what is your next goal? It's a good question.
Well, Brian actually was the writer I met last night. I went to Viva Latino. How about that?
Ah.
So my friend Steve Del Costa owned it, and I saw this movie called Fist of Love. And let me tell you, it was amazing. And Brian's the writer.
Oh, okay.
And Daryl Denner, I think, was the director, and they had such a great cast and crew. It was unbelievable. But that's how I met Brian. And he's awesome. I'm very inspired by his writing. I actually looked him up on IMDb. He's got some great stuff. And hopefully we'll be working in the future together. And, as far as, live streaming, it's so funny because as I'm looking at some of these names, I haven't seen some of these people or heard from these people in a while. And then some people I speak to every day, which is everybody's probably shocked. JT live streaming. Wow.
That's what's so great about live streaming. You get to connect with so many people
Yes, it's
simultaneously.
I think I'm a fan now. But like I said, you're actually doing so well, and so many things that you've been doing. And what's next for you, actually?
What's next for me is really, I'm reaching the point in my career where I feel like I've learned so much that I really want to share that with aspiring talent entertainers. That's why I created my Tools for Talent company years ago, and that's why I'm taking it now and starting this show, so I want to create a platform where people who've been in the industry for a really long time can connect with people firsthand who are just starting out, to help them, avoid getting scammed, to help put them in the right path, to help lead them in the right direction, so that they have the best possible chance of succeeding, and also hopefully succeeding faster. Because the normal way takes such a long time, because you have to do so much networking and so much growing and so much learning that if I would have had something like Tools for Talent when I first started out, where I could have talked to big names in the industry and had firsthand actually be able to chat with them live and ask them real questions and get hands-on advice like that, then maybe I'd be even further along now than I am now. But the thing is, in this industry, there are expiration dates. So if we could get this done faster with less rejection, and with less heartbreak and less. A lot of people give up so quickly in this industry because there's so much competition and there is so much rejection, that if I could help people starting out, people who are really talented that just don't know what to do,
that's awesome.
If I could really just give them a better shot and like a happier shot with faster success and easier success, then I feel like I would have done good,
Well, you know what you're doing now, I mean, if you people can see this setup.
It is pretty crazy, right?
I've been on so many TV shows. I host a TV show, and wow, this is a setup this is like right out of the movies. So professional, looks amazing. It's got everything from music to Wi-Fi and web streaming and phones and everything. It's amazing.
It's hard to tell from this angle, but what we're seeing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different screens plus a 4K webcam, and we are multi-streaming to multiple platforms simultaneously right now, so we can reach the widest possible audience, so that we can connect with as many people as possible from all over the world, so we can really give, just help as many people as possible. And that's what I love about live streaming, is that it gives you those opportunities to connect with people one-on-one, and so many people all at the same time. So if you guys are tuning in on Twitter Live or YouTube Live or Instagram Live or Facebook Live or any of the other platforms that we're live on, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that share, follow, like button, comment, chat with us, and make sure that that you are turning your notifications for live video on, so this way you can get a push notification every time we go live. In the future, I'll be featuring celebrity guests and industry veterans every week, so you don't want to miss who I have coming on the show next. I was so lucky to have JT here today, an industry veteran for over 15 years. He's been casting films and TV shows and major movies. Check out his IMDb. I have it here if you guys want to see it real quick. He's casted for so many films, like films that you guys have heard of.
The Network just came out. It's out right now. I did a movie with Steve Stanilis, and John Gallagher, I think he directed it. It's out right now.
Wow, that's so cool. We have a good comment here from Cami.
Oh, hey Cami, how are you?
She says, you never take it personally because not everyone fits the part. And
Absolutely.
that's a great piece of advice right there.
Yes,
and I'm glad she brought that up, because like I was saying before, how rejection is such a hard thing to deal with. You need to not take it personally and say, okay, they didn't want me.
Correct.
It's not necessarily that they didn't want you, but maybe you just weren't right for the specific thing that they were casting for.
Exactly.
Maybe they needed a certain look, a
Right.
certain style. So you don't know what it was because you rarely find out what the reason is you weren't casted for a project. But there is something out there for you. And if you go to enough auditions and you meet enough
Right.
people and you put your best foot forward and you really are doing it for the right reasons,
course.
you'll find your way.
Well, you know what it is also, the one thing that I've learned, like you were saying about, different people.
Yeah.
Like take Donna McKenna, for instance.
That's okay.
So Donna McKenna is a casting director.
Mm-hmm.
She's CSA, she got a whole thing, she's amazing, very dear friend of mine, I've worked with her many times. You're talking about giving people a chance. Donna have gave so many people chances, and she's always there to support everyone, regardless of what's going on, and she's there for that. And the one thing that I love about Donna, she'll give somebody a shot. They don't have to be a celebrity. They don't have to be like, and she works with the big names.
Mm-hmm.
She'll give them a shot. So yeah, there are people that you can go to, like Donna McKenna, myself. There's Steve Stanulis, Joe Gawalis. Joe gave a lot of people their starts too. Paul Mamando, Ken Kushner has helped a lot of people out. He's a director I did American Brawler with and a bunch of other things. But look, there's so many good people that care about people. And Cheryl, getting back to you for a second, you inspired a lot of people. I know dances that people turned down when you had your company, and you took care of them. You made sure they were right. I still remember when a few dancers had issues, and you took care of it. You were always there to help people. You're never there to hurt anyone. You're always there, and that's why you succeeded. When I walked in here to the studio, and I saw that you set it up, I was so happy. And it's like you just get bigger and stronger. You're getting more powerful every day because you're a good person and you care and you got a good heart.
I appreciate that, honey.
Of course. And,
I try.
well, you succeeded.
A lot of people think that it's all about competition in this industry
No,
and
it's not.
stepping on people so that you
Nothing
can get
like
your, chance to shine. People are always
Yes.
climbing to reach the light when it's not so much about climbing on top of people or climbing over people, but
It's not
climbing together.
It's a team.
Like you'll have a better shot that way. But no matter what, we could say this till we're blue in the face.
Yeah.
It's not going to make it go away.
Right.
That competition and that
Jealousy
whole,
is going to be
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. Envy, unfortunately, it's something that will always be there. So even though we're all talking
Right.
roses, butterflies, it's not going to be that way. There's always going to be somebody
Well,
that
people-
tries to bring you down or
Right.
talk bad about you or try to
Oh, yeah.
make something harder for you.
But you know what the funny thing about it is, and this is the one thing I can't stress enough, the people that are the ones that are bad-mouthing or saying things, they're doing worse than the person they're bad-mouthing,
Yeah,
which I never understood that.
always.
There's this one, I'm not going to mention a name, but just one particular actor called me up the other day and said, I've had it. I'm done. I'm quitting the business. I said, why? They said, my friend got a part in The Irishman. And I'm like, well,
That's amazing.
Yeah, what did you do? I know like everyone in The Irishman. And they said, well, I cursed him out. I'm like, why'd you do that? He goes, well, I should have been in there. I said, well,
But didn't he just call this person his friend?
exactly. I
Oh.
said, well, let me ask you a question. What did you say to him? He goes, well, I said, you're in The Irishman. I'm not. I have more credits than you. I said, did you ever think of maybe if you just said, congratulations, good job, maybe karma would come back and help you, or maybe he would just say, hey, I got a friend. And he goes, I never thought of that way.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? Why don't you call him back up right now? Tell him, hey, look, and these aren't big actors that I'm talking about. Why don't you call him up and just say, look, I'm sorry, I just got a little upset. It's just been a bad week.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh, you know what, JT, I'll do that for you, but I don't think it's going to help. He now got a part in The Irishman.
Wow. See?
And this
Great.
was
That was great advice.
this
by
was
the way.
2 weeks ago.
Wow.
But he didn't get a big role.
But still, I bet you it was because did that friend have something to do with it?
Apparently that guy had pull.
Wow.
So, the thing is that I have no pull in The Irishman. I mean, Vinny Bella got a part in there just now. I mean, you got Craig right there. Craig's, everybody say hi, Craig.
Hey, Craig, what's up?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, Lucy Lopez.
Hey, Lucy. So, Craig is in the movie that I just told you about with Joe Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in Bare Knuckle Brawler, and I think he's in The Irishman as well. But what I'm saying is, it's all about being good people and just congratulate one another and be friendly.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you did your dancing, your singing and all that stuff, you're gonna meet a lot of people. You're gonna have, everyone's gonna have haters. And the thing is, the best thing to do with a hater is just ignore it. You don't need it, and don't let anything get you down, because success is one of the most important factors.
I have the perfect acronym for haters.
Go
It's
for it.
having anger towards everyone reaching success.
Wow, I love that.
Isn't that the best? And that's exactly what it is, right? So when you have a hater, realize, oh shit, I must be doing well, because it's once you start getting up there,
Yes.
that's when the haters come. So having haters isn't always necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, exactly.
It means you're doing something right.
Yeah, and it's just being friendly to everybody. Cami has another question for you.
Well, she has another good tip, actually. Your attitude has a lot to do with
Yes,
getting
I
a
agree,
part. Yeah, of
100%.
course. I mean,
Cami, you're on a roll.
being a casting director producer, I'm sure you know that
Absolutely.
if the talent that comes in with that right energy and the right vibes,
Yes.
you're much apt to remember and want to work with versus
Yes.
somebody who gives you some nervous and
Yeah.
conceited or any other type of energy,
Oh, yeah. Cami, is 100% right. Attitude, being professional, and just being friendly always helps.
Yeah.
And never question the director. That usually helps.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, yeah, and there's always different aspects to that, but
Yeah.
she is right. When it comes to that.
So let's take a minute to say hi to any of the new people that have just tuned in
Absolutely.
here. King Joey, thank you so much for sending the 100 likes to the stream. What's going on?
Hey.
And so Daniel, thanks for the likes.
Hey, Daniel.
What's going on? We wrote a long time no see. Aw. Thanks for tuning in. Hey Shmeez. Wow, thanks for all of those fire
Wow, you
gifts
got a
you
lot of
sent. That's a
fires.
lot of fire gifts. Thank you so much.
For those of you who don't see that, she's getting a lot
Shmeez
of
says,
fire.
how do I be a better sportscaster?
Wow.
So if sports is your field and entertainment is my field, I'm not really sure too much what I could tell you about sports, but it's definitely just about
Right.
getting that niche audience and
Yes.
speaking to them, providing them with something that can benefit them, and then I think that would be my best advice. And just sticking to it, and using make sure that you share it to all of your social media platforms as well. Thanks for the golden star, doll baby. Hey Ty Boogie. Hey Baba, what's going on? Hey Gary.
Hey.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in, everybody. P Gang says, what an inspirational man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. God bless.
Guys. Thanks for all the thumbs up. It's Albert. Nice.
Hey.
Sorry for a little delayed reaction to all this. Black Widow, hey, how you been?
Hey.
All right, guys. Christy, hey, Christy tuned in. Hi, everybody. All right, so to those of you guys that just tuned in, you're watching Tools for Talent Live on TFT TV. I'm your host, Cheryl Martinez, and my featured guest for today is JT John Thomas from JT Talent Enterprises. He's been a casting director and talent manager for over 15 years. He has tons and tons and tons of credits on IMDb, casting tons of major films if you guys want to check him out. And if you're looking to get into the industry, he's one of the most humble industry veterans I've ever had the pleasure to work with. So if you need help or tips or advice, he's the man to go to when it comes to that, guys. I highly recommend him. He's been through a lot, and he's always come out with a smile on his face, and when you meet people like that, those are the type of people you want to keep in your life.
Same here. And we have a request from about
Yeah?
20 clicks ago, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I have my event tonight at Van Diemen.
Mm-hmm.
It's Max's birthday. You up to singing happy birthday to him?
Maybe I'll come to the event and sing it to him in person.
All right, sorry, Max, I tried. But yeah, you're right when it comes to that stuff. But look, I appreciate everything, all the great stuff you're saying. And, it goes right back at you. But this industry can be the most amazing, fulfilling, and exciting thing. What's up, Scott? Oh, it's my text. And Jersey Jerry, there's a guy
Hey,
right there.
Jersey Jerry.
Jersey Jerry, when I got out of the hospital from the day became my producer, picked me up, dropped me off, took care of me. He's done everything he could for me. So
Aw.
Jersey Jerry's been a true friend and a
Nice.
great guy and a big supporter, and he's done many films with me and stuff like that.
Wow.
But you know, what you were saying before about giving breaks and stuff like that, what about you? Are you doing any more acting?
Yeah, if you go to my IMDb page, that's like a tongue twister, you can see all of the acting credits that I have.
That's great.
I've done a lot of TV shows. I've done some short films. I've done some featured work on some majors, and I've done probably over like 50 music videos by now, a mixture of lead roles and featured roles.
Well, I have a TV show that I'm only the casting associate, and I'm just the associate producer. I'm just, this and that and that. The only reason I'm saying that because it's not my project, I'm just fortunate enough to be part of it, and it's called The FIBA.
See, this is the humbleness that I'm talking about right here, guys.
Oh, it's not my project.
But most people go and say, I'm producing the show, blah, blah,
But
blah.
these are two of the most phenomenal people I've ever met. Lorenzo Anderson and his wife, Sandra Anderson. And they're watching, I think, as well. And the thing about them is that they've actually helped a lot of people become SAG eligible, including Jamara Edmondson is one of my clients.
I'm SAG eligible.
See, look at that. And they're actually
But I'm
casting.
SAG eligible for like...
They're casting for the next episode.
Ooh.
So, next season, I'm sorry, season 3. So we'd love to have you come down. I'd like to try to get you in that.
Yeah, that'd be
feel,
great.
it's
Of
a SAG
course.
project.
Yeah.
And but they gave a lot of people starts. But like a lot of the comments that you're looking at, like Ann Mitchell is watching.
Hey, Ann Mitchell.
Ann
Hi.
Mitchell's the writer of the TV series that I did up on Sugar Hill.
Nice.
That she got Ray Robledo, who's our producer for that. But a lot of these people that are so amazing, okay, I've met at different ways in different places. But yeah, I mean, attitude, what Cammie said was a good point.
Yeah.
Bring it up. You and Frank Fernandez, what's up, Frank? And Frank used to be with NBC, and he gave you a great comment.
Ooh.
So, Frank works, sports and does a lot of big stuff. But this business, there's so much and so many different things to do it. Vlad, what do you call it?
Hey, Vlad. Hi, Mike.
And Mike.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Mike and his wife are great people. They're actually in the film that I'm working on.
So I know that you have a premiere to go to soon, right? It's almost 9 p.m.
Wow.
So I just want to make sure that you don't miss your premiere because I know this is a big deal.
It's all right. I actually have them covering it. So whenever...
So we're okay? We don't have to end exactly at 9?
We're good.
All right, you guys are lucky. All right, so you still have a little bit of time left to get your last minute questions in for JT. So if there's anything that you guys want to know about the industry, about how to get into the film industry, what casting directors look for, those would be the types of questions that JT would be the perfect person to answer.
Absolutely.
So
if anybody has any questions, I'm here.
yeah, and if they want to connect with you after the show, why don't you give them your social media handles?
Oh yeah, well look, if anybody wants to connect, you can always email me at JT. Oh, well my email is actually, but yeah, JT Talent Enterprises LLC@gmail.com. And you can also on Facebook message me because I'm already on 5,000 friends. You can basically just look for John Thomas and look for JT Talent Enterprises. Look for my emblem. And I'm actually getting a website built from a friend of mine, so that should be up in the next 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
And of course, make sure that you mention Cheryl, Tools for Talent.
That's right. At Tools for Talent is our handle on all social media platforms. My personal one is at Cheryl Martinez Music on Instagram and Facebook, and at Cheryl Martinez on YouTube and Twitter.
Now, do you need anybody to register about your site?
So if you want to become a featured guest on the show, you just go to toolsfortalent.com/TV, and there's just a quick little form on there that you fill out. It takes 2 minutes, so we can follow up with you about maybe getting you on the show.
And future things. And,
yeah, I mean, as long as you're either an industry veteran, you've worked in the industry for a long time, and you have a story to share, you have something that you think could help aspiring entertainers.
Right.
And when I say aspiring entertainers, it could be aspiring singers, dancers, actors, models, musicians, just any type of field in the entertainment industry, if you've been through something and you want to share your story and you have advice or tips or tools, then we would love to have you on the show and interview you.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
So go to toolsfortalent.com/TV and we'll be sure to consider you. But all right, so I'd say we're gonna wrap in a couple minutes. So I just want to go and say again, for the people that are just tuning in, you're watching Tools for Talent Live on TFT TV. I'm your host, Cheryl Martinez. Our fabulous featured guest for today was JT, aka John Thomas from JT Talent Enterprises. He's been a casting director and talent manager in the industry, specifically the film industry, for over 15 years. You can check out his IMDb page for proof of all of his various credits in major feature films. And he's given us some really great advice today. If you guys didn't get to watch the whole stream and you're tuning in towards the ends, you can go to youtube.com/Cheryl Martinez to watch the replay of this entire show, and feel free to tune in to the parts that would most benefit you. And if you have any follow-up questions, you can contact either of us on social media, because we are always here, happy to help. That's the whole point of the show.
Whatever I can do to help, and definitely register for her site. I mean, I went on the site yesterday. It's phenomenal. I'm registering tonight.
So, do you have any closing remarks as far as any inspiration, motivation, or advice for aspiring actors looking to get in the film industry? What would you say are like the top five things that you could say to them after?
Well, what I'm gonna say will probably get like a lot of those people, cluing in, but the first thing that I would say is be positive. Mm-hmm. Don't let anything be negative. Always say to yourself, you know what? I can do this. Mm-hmm. The second thing, which I recommend, make your own stuff. The thing is that there's YouTube, you can go buy a camera, whatever, get a couple of friends, make a little project. You never know what kind of quality you can do. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's not going to be like a thing, but you can do the film festival circuit. You could play around a little, make your own projects, then you become the lead and see where it goes.
Yeah.
3, what you should do is submit to casting directors. And when you submit to casting directors, this is what I want to tell you to do. Mm-hmm. When you submit to casting directors, just take your time, small letter, nothing major, and don't be like overzealous, don't go crazy. Just say to yourself, just say, hi, my name is, and send some stuff, and don't call them every single day. Let them get back to you. Mm-hmm. If they want you, they will, but if not, there's a million other casting directors. My 4th thing, get a professional headshot. You don't gotta go to a photographer and spend $5,000 or $500 or $100. Go to your friend who has a camera that has more than 10 megs of it, and just get a regular picture that's 8x10. Go to Staples if you want, or go to a printing company. I like Stop and Print, my friend owns. He does great deals. Go there and just get it printed out.
There's a way.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Right.
You don't come up with excuses. Oh, I can't do it because I don't have money to pay for the photographer. Well, maybe your first headshot isn't going to be, a top name photographer, but that doesn't mean you can't start somewhere. Like he said, go to Staples, get it printed your damn self.
Years ago, it was very different than the